What's going on, everyone? I'm your host Derek, and welcome to LPE, the show where we attempt to play every single game to let you know if they're worth playing. Starting off our NES adventure with a game called 10-Yard Fight. It was developed by Irem, a company based out of Japan, which may explain why the word football is not found anywhere in the title or anywhere in the game, despite being an American football game. The game presents you with 5 different difficulties in the menu. You have high school, college, professional, playoff, and Super Bowl to kind of simulate real life. But it's more of a level select than a difficulty selection. If you start at the high school difficulty, you are automatically sent to the college level after you win the game, and this continues all the way to the Super Bowl level. So, regardless of how good you think you are at sports games, I recommend you start at the high school level. This game isn't difficult, but going through all 5 levels is the only sense of progression you're going to feel in this game, so you may as well get the full experience. Each game starts with the opposing team kicking the ball down to your end of the field. When you receive it, you move down the field as all 9 of the players as one unit, and you do your best to block the defense from tackling the receiver. You don't get to choose different plays or tactics. The only variation the game gives you when on offense is it lets you choose where to stop one of the players that literally walks across the entire field. If you want him on the left side of the field, that was 30 seconds of in-game time, and this happens every single time. This gets so old really fast, and I wound up rarely ever using this player because of this. Unfortunately, when the AI is on offense, they let this guy walk all the way across the field very often, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. There really aren't any other rules other than the one applied by the title of the game. Every 10 yards is first down. There's no offsides, nothing else that I can tell. Passing in this game is hardly preferred compared to rushing, hence why I hardly ever use the walking guy. Interceptions on offense and defense are incredibly easy, since all it requires is for an opposing team member or yourself to be in the general path of the ball when it's been thrown to a receiver. There's no button press or anything. The player just has to be in the general vicinity of that ball. So this leads to a lot of passing to the guys directly left and right of the quarterback, and honestly, rushing works way better anyway. If your defense lines up with the enemy team, you can usually get 20 to 30 yards. And this is only because the defense runs much faster than offense. If you ran the same, you could get much further. And if you are throwing to a wide receiver, you're going to get maybe 5 yards. Once you score a touchdown, you're able to kick a field goal. This is accomplished by lining up the indicator between the post and hitting A to kick the ball. It's pretty much a guarantee, even if you're like 20 yards away. As far as I could tell, there was not an option to go for 2 points instead of a field goal, but I didn't read the manual, because who reads the manual? When you're on defense, you have the choice of choosing a guy on the left or a guy on the right to control. Defense gets really easy once you understand that 90% of the time, the AI team is going to play towards the center. If they're on the left side of the field, they're going to pass to someone on the right. If they're on the right side, they're going to pass to someone on the left, almost without fail. So the game becomes very predictable, and you can easily choose if you want to play the left or right guy. If the opposing team is on their 4th down, they will almost always kick the ball. In the 10 games that I played, I only witnessed them not kick it on a 4th down once. Though I could never figure out how to kick it on a 4th down myself. While your opponents get slightly smarter with each level, so do the players on your team. As you progress through the harder difficulties, all this really adds up to in the end is it takes slightly longer to reach the end zone when on offense. For defense, it's exactly the same. As you watch my video here, every single first play is exactly the same. I realize I'm being a bit harsh on a game that's older than I am, but remember that 1985 is the same year that Super Mario Bros. Came out. In comparison, this game offers very little replay value and overall satisfaction. If I had bought this game 33 years ago, I would have been very let down, since you can complete the entire thing in less than 2 hours, and it becomes very easy once you realize the very obvious trick to playing good defense. But I'm still let down that I paid money for this game. After winning the Super Bowl level, you're simply rewarded with the game replaying the Super Bowl over and over. 10-yard fight never ends, and I don't mean that in a good way. You don't even get a congratulations or even a single frame showing a pixelated trophy, no matter how many times you win the Super Bowl. The LPE rating system is primarily based on, is it worth your time to play? This isn't an overall summary of the game, this is, should you play this game today? And 10-Yard Fight gets 1 out of 7 footballs in this regard. I did have a little fun the first couple of games when I was still figuring out how to play defense, but the lack of story and repetitiveness makes the game incredibly boring after you figure out how to play. It wasn't even worth the $5 that's being sold for on eBay. So, overall, you can pass. If you enjoyed this episode and want to see more NES games, hit that like button, get subscribed, hit the bell if you really like what we're doing, and I'll see you in the next episode.